It says that we are live. I'm assuming we're live because it says we're live. You all see the video?
I see it as just saying still wait.
Oh, it's starting up. All right, cool. So it started up. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Omnibros Live. Oh, hey, the chat popped up as well.
Yay.
Omnibros Live, featuring your host this week is myself, Riley Moe, the Omnibus Collector, and as always, I'm joined by Mr. Jazzy Jess Bragg, the Omni Dog.
Hey-o, hit him with the hind.
And Luis was not able to come in. He and his lady are actually going to go see Guardians tonight. So we are graced with the presence of Mr. Gabe Infinity Watch himself.
What's up, everybody? Awesome to be here. I don't have a tagline like Jess, but
You got your braces off. I don't think I've seen you since you got your braces off. Your teeth are looking good.
Yeah, this is great. I've been wearing my retainers too, like I'm supposed to.
Nice.
That's the
And
word.
it is definitely good to wear the retainers because I did not, and one of my bottom teeth is completely out of whack.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
See, that's the thing I've been told by everybody I know who's had braces. Like, yeah, I didn't wear my retainer and everything just got fucked. Looks like I ate rocks, kind of thing.
Luckily it was one tooth. It's just one tooth that moved. It's not that bad. It's not that noticeable unless you really look at my bottom teeth. But I know if it's someone who has had worse dental problems before, because mine were not that bad, then it could lead to really bad stuff. So yeah, it's always a good move to wear those retainers like you are meant to. Anyway, the topic tonight, if you haven't seen the title or read the description, 99 problems, but a pitch ain't one. I found out that Jay-Z is going to be at ACL Fest, and we bought tickets for ACL this morning before he was announced for it, just because I was hyped about Gorillaz. So he's fresh on my mind, and I had to make a Jay-Z joke. But the idea here, if you hadn't read the description, is basically when we get to the main topic of our show tonight, we're going to ask that you guys, our watchers, send us characters, teams, different books, whatever you want. And we're going to try and pitch you an idea for what kind of story we might like to tell if we were writing one of those books. So I've got a few locked away in my head that maybe I'll get to share a bit tonight. I know Gabe said he's just going to run with it and see what happens.
And I'm just going to sit there with my mouth open.
I'm all about the improv, and speaking of Jay-Z and ACL, I hope nobody tears their ACL.
What was that?
I said, I hope nobody tears their ACL since you're going to the ACL show.
Yeah. It's usually good out there. We usually fine, but yeah, it's
I'm going to see Dave Chappelle tomorrow, actually, so I can't.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard from people who watched him here that his show was really good out here. Actually, one of my wife's cousins went, and they were really happy with it. But we can head right into our first part of the show. We can talk about things that we got the past week or 2 weeks, actually, since we didn't do a show last week, and talk about stuff that we've been reading as well. So whoever wants to start off, we can do both at the same time, or we can split it up, whatever y'all want to
do. Since Gabe's the guest, let's let him go. Let him go first. The super guest.
I got some good stuff the last couple of weeks. Probably the same stuff a lot of other people have, but it's all great stuff. One of the best comic books ever put out. Jess will totally understand.
Go Gabe. Go Gabe.
What is this? Volume 3 of Irredeemable. So that completes the Irredeemable set that's out right now.
Nice.
And this is, I think this is a storyline as I flip through it. I don't want to give anything away, but this is the one that has like the most random, not random, but just the most like old Henry kind of left field kind of thing happen where the story totally takes a different loop. So this is
I love that book.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I just love it because throughout most of the series and a lot of this book, it's I forget the name of Irredeemable. It's like JLA team, but they're all trying to figure out. They all have secrets about the plutonium and his like weaknesses, and they're trying to exploit it and stuff like that. And then this whole completely different story comes in that finds out how to really exploit his weaknesses and stuff. So that's a really cool book. It's Mark Waid. Can never go wrong with Mark Waid.
No.
Another one that's probably one of the best books ever put out. I don't care what Jess says. The book that defined the generation. Helped make the third Nolanverse Batman movie. Talking about Nightfall. Batman Nightfall. Volume 1. I had all the phone books, all the giant trade paperbacks. I actually sold those in the group because I need the better format for this amazing story. What else? This book with a super long title, War of Kings Prelude, Road to War of Kings.
I love that cover.
I love it, dude. It's almost as good as that Inhumans promo photo that's been on the group.
Ooh, Gabe, shots fired.
Topical.
But that completes that whole that great DNA storyline, or the whole DNA era of Cosmic Comics.
Yeah, that's the last piece we were waiting on.
Yeah, that's great. I remember when those books were coming out. I was getting the singles back in the day, but it was always like dead fruit on the vine. Like, it was like almost always being canceled, and fans just had to keep saving that story and saving that book and saving that book. And whoever thought we'd be getting like, what is it, 4, 5 giant omnibus that collects that whole series? Like, whoever thought that was ever going to happen with these characters like Groot and Rocket Raccoon? And then Brubaker's Daredevil Volume 1.
Nice.
I got Volume 2. I ordered that Tuesday from IST this week. Just waiting for that to come in. I live on the West Coast, so it always takes like 7-8 days to get my orders from IST. But that's my pickups. That's my haul for the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Nice.
I mean, besides like my Nickelodeon box and cool stuff like that.
That Nickelodeon box, I'm actually really jealous of because I really want that Rocco shirt.
Oh, who's the party crasher?
Uh-oh. Intruder alert.
Whoa. What's up, Luis?
You mean this Rocco shirt?
Oh my God, I want it. Hey, bring that over here when you come visit.
Oh, I'm gonna wear it. Actually, Spencer's. I don't know if you guys know what Spencer's is. If you have Spencer's in your area, but
Oh, it's got a collar and everything.
yeah, they got these really cool button-up shirts that has like Hey Arnold and Reptar and Rocco on it.
Spencer's Gifts.
And since they're button-up shirts, I can actually wear them to work. And I've been getting nothing but like the best praise from people at work over those shirts.
I love it. I love it.
Where'd you get it? Spencer's?
Yeah.
Spencer's Gifts?
Yep.
I thought they used to sell like pens and stationery or something.
No, they used to be like a joke store where you would just buy giant dicks that would like shoot like ketchup and mustard and stuff like that.
That's not the store I remember.
You can still buy blow dolls,
wieners,
and stuff like that there. You can still buy it all there. We just bought my cousin an inflatable sex doll as his birthday gift this weekend.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, Boy Toy Brad.
Where are you now, Louise?
Where are we?
We're at Ross.
This isn't Ross.
We're in Ross. Or no. This isn't
No.
Ross.
Ross
this
is
is
gross, dude.
Home Goods.
Home Goods.
There.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my jam, dude.
Huh?
Home Goods is the shit.
Oh, I love this place. It's got great prices on a whole bunch of good stuff.
Because you said Ross, and Ross is like Kmart's drug-addicted cousin. That they found in his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
It is nice.
She would love that.
Yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see Guardians of the Galaxy in a few minutes.
You should live stream the movie until you get kicked out.
Just hold the camera up and you guys commentate and watch.
All
I
we're
think I
seeing right now is your eyebrows and forehead.
That's all you need to see.
Oh,
not
that's
much
how we know it's you?
Looks like a Mexican RoboCop.
So this is the first time Gabe's on the show with you, Riley.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Dude, I'm
You got
pumped.
the-
I finally got to meet Riley. That's like meeting, you know, like Grant Morrison at Morrison Con.
Did you? Oh, so what is it like
It's like
meeting
meeting
me in a
me.
few weeks? What is it like meeting me in a few weeks? The biggest disappointment of your life?
No way, man.
Like meeting Alan Moore at WizardCon.
I am flattered. Honestly, I really am. We'll smoke some bud and like cat.
It's gonna be like meeting Warren Ellis at an opium bar.
Get out of here. We're gonna head to the movie in a few minutes.
All right, hope you all enjoy it.
All right, have a good night, guys. I'll let you know what I thought about it after.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome.
We'll see you, dude.
Bye.
Okay, so
All right.
Spencer, does Spencer's have an online presence where I can get those shirts?
That guy's a jerk sometimes. No, I'm kidding.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure they got an online store.
Okay, because I want to get like a cat dog shirt or something.
Oh, I thought you wanted a sex doll that Lewis got for his friend.
No, I don't need that. I need a cat dog or a Hey Arnold shirt or
The Hey Arnold shirt's amazing. I love that shirt.
yeah, I'm
Ooh,
totally into that.
I see the Rocco's Modern Life shirt. It's $39.99.
My daughter didn't watch that. We did watch a lot of stuff on Nick. I mean, she's your guys' age, so I watched all that stuff.
I'm older. Speaking of Hey Arnold, actually, I just picked up the Hey Arnold complete DVD set too.
Nice.
All 99. It's all 99 episodes. It's like $20 at Walmart, and it's great because Amazon wants like $40 for it.
So Jess, what'd you get this week?
I got my tooth pulled. My infected tooth pulled, so I just had it done in case I'm swollen at all. And I sent pictures of it to Riley and Gabe. I wish I could figure out how to put it up in the chat. Gross everybody out. I
could do it.
Okay, go ahead if you know how to do it. You got the picture.
So I'll screen share my screen, go over to our chat,
Whoa.
and there it is. Look at that thing.
See, you can see the infection there and everything. There's the infection from my tooth. Well, Luis is back.
Hey, Luis, check this out.
Luis, check it out. My infected tooth that got pulled.
Is it green?
The shading on the tooth looks like it. Yeah, that's the.
Wow.
You can see the infection hanging off the root.
Matt Miranda blames it on your Rupert floats.
He's probably right.
Probably. Okay, we've got a dilemma here. All right. So crepes are basically just mini pancakes, right?
They're not mini.
No, it's totally
She's
different.
saying they are
Exactly.
mini pancakes.
Thank you.
We're settling a domestic disturbance.
Yes, crepes are mini pancakes, right?
No, they are not.
No, it's totally different. They're not even
No,
made up
they're made out of something else.
Yeah.
Different batter.
They're
Now,
just
ice cream and gelato is the exact same thing. I'll tell you that much.
ice cream and gelato are the same thing. Are
Ice
they?
cream and gelato is the same thing.
There's a complete different way you make ice cream, and there's a complete different way you make gelato.
This is
The
what
way
we've
you
been
make
arguing.
gelato is you make ice cream, you let it melt for about 10 minutes, and then you charge $10 extra for it.
Is that about right? I've
Did
never
we
had
help
gelato.
solve your crepe dilemma by that?
No, because I'm still standing by my thing that I think it's just mini pancakes,
They are not
just
mini pancakes.
flatter.
No, I disagree. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go against you on this one. Crepes are
Riley,
just thin little thinglets that you stuff full of Nutella and bananas, and then dust them with powdered sugar and shove them in your face.
See, that's why you have a green tooth.
Not green. It's bloody.
Ugh. Dude, that,
You got like a big gaping hole in your mouth now?
I do, yeah.
Man.
I love that.
Right
Oh,
there,
but it's
dude.
Oh,
in
there
the
you
back.
go. Oh.
why does that look like a dick?
Because everything looks like a dick if you try hard enough.
I'm not touching that subject.
Yeah.
That's a crap. Riley, where do you stand on this? Mini pancakes or not?
Well, you see, not necessarily miniature pancakes, but I would agree if you said they were like paper thin pancakes.
Okay. All right.
Because for me, a lot of what dignifies a crepe is how thin it is, because then it can easily be used as a wrap
Right.
for usually, at least as far as I go, something that's sweet.
Okay. All right. So he's on my side. All right.
Not necessarily. You said mini pancakes. You didn't say thin pancakes. You said mini pancakes.
Oh my god.
Mini pancakes are like silver dollar pancakes or like Eggo pancakes.
Yeah.
Now we're getting
Yeah.
on to pancakes.
Now I want some breakfast now. I'm at Brenner.
All right, but
I had dinner last night.
I live in
Talk
Vegas.
about-
I can eat breakfast anytime I want here. It's great.
I just found this out. In Italy, by law, gelato must have at least 3.5% butter fat.
What?
Mhm.
By law.
Wow.
So, like, I wonder if the like Italian polizia will come if your gelato is 3.4% butter fat.
Their government
Yeah.
got nothing better to do than to regulate melted ice cream.
Do they taste it and go, yeah, this is only 2% pure? That one.
I wouldn't put gelato in my root beer floats, that's for sure.
That
Do they
sounds-
shut the place down like a health code violation if it's not enough butter fat?
You should get this for Aria. She needs a bed.
All right, have a good night, guys. Take it easy.
Okay,
Later.
let us know if you want to know the difference between Coke and Pepsi.
Oh, that's easy. Coke.
Oh.
One of them tastes like ass, and the other one's good.
And it's Pepsi.
Unless you get the Coke from around the world.
Yeah, right. The Italian Coke. Blech.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to go to Epcot to do that, dude.
That's right.
Or to Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
Late full?
Okay, we're going to talk about you now.
What a dick.
Jerk. Okay,
Well, Jess, what did you buy this week?
I bought,
The past few weeks?
let's see, what I bought. Scarlet Witch, the third book in the series.
Hell yeah.
I got Mockingbird, first Mockingbird, and then the
Awesome.
second Mockingbird. So I want to read these. And I got DC Rebirth, my first DC Rebirth book, Hellblazer. I don't know why I picked it up. I just don't think, I didn't read about it getting a deluxe, so I thought I'd just dive in and see what Hellblazer was about.
Have you never read Hellblazer before?
Not in Rebirth. I read it in floppies back in the 90s, yeah. Let's see. And a friend of mine, whose name I'm blanking on right now. I'm such a close friend with him. Shoot, he's from Modesto, and I can't think of his name. I'm blocking on it. Anyway, he got me the Question Pipeline, which
Nice.
is good. That's hard to find, and it's going to come to me in a second. What his name is? Mike Ashley sold me Savage Highway, a Humanoids book, which I'm looking forward to. It's a cool book. I got from the Hellboy series Witchfinder. Also from Hellboy, hardcover Into the Silent Sea. Another Rebirth book, All-Star Batman. I decided to get the hardcover of that. And second to last, the Valiant Exo Man of War Deluxe Edition Volume 4. I'm behind on my Exo Man of War, so I need to get going on that. I'm actually behind on my Valiant a lot. And then the second biggest book I own,
Oh, nice.
Little Nemo, which is ginormous, as you can see.
Who put that out?
Taschen.
Passion? Oh, no wonder it's so big.
Yeah, the other book I have that's bigger than this is the Little Nemo reboot they did. It's even more gianter. And then I had an Eltingville moment. Riley will appreciate
Yes.
this. I had an Eltingville moment where I saw Trix with the
Nice.
Superman costume on, and I realized I had not collected the triptych that goes on the back of the cereal boxes, which is totally something that those guys in the Eltingville Club would do, is buy all these superhero cereal boxes because they wanted the triptych on the back. So I need to go out and get the rest of these now that I've gone down that road.
It reminds me of the issue where he's going through all the like Wonder Bread.
Yeah, so he can get the card out of the Wonder Bread.
Pulling all the cards out of the Wonder Bread packages.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
What's on the
And-
back? You said triptych? What is it?
Yeah, if you get General Mills put out, let's see, they put out four cereal boxes. Okay, 5 cereal boxes: Honey Nut Cheerios, Cocoa Puffs, Multigrain Cheerios, Lucky Charms, and Trix. They've all got a comic book inside them, superhero character on the front, and then on the back, they all make a giant, if you put them together, they make a big, long picture of the Justice League.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I'll actually get to display this upstairs because I'm allowed to display cereal boxes upstairs in the kitchen.
I've only seen those in like one Walmart in town, but it was like the super ghetto Walmart.
Yeah.
And it's just like I had to like fight crackheads to go get cereal.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I don't have to go to Walmart to do that, but ours isn't that bad. It never has figures or anything, but it has lots of cereal. And speaking of figures, is this when I should show these figures, Riley?
Yeah.
I got in, we're going to do a little action figure haul here. I got in all the Guardians of the Galaxy ones with the Build-A-Figure of Titus. First, we got Nova.
I love that Sam Nova figure. I got it too.
See if you can see it okay. Then I got Yondu. And the glare is bad in here. And this is Vance Astro, who I don't have a clue who he is. That's how clueless I am.
He's on the Guardians original team from the year 3000.
Ah, okay. Well, here's
There you go,
Vance Astro.
He goes right what Captain Victory he's called? Captain Valor?
I believe so.
Yeah, no, this my Marvel knowledge does not. It needs a lot of work. I do recognize this guy, Darkhawk.
I'm so surprised and happy that Darkhawk got a figure.
Yeah, it is cool. And I haven't pulled them out yet and built the Build-A-Figure. Here's the one everybody loves, Angela. From the Guardians of the Galaxy figures. And the last two. Star-Lord. And Drax, who I saw working out at my gym one time a couple years ago. Dave Bautista. So yeah, these will go together to make Titus. Right there. With a badass gun arm. It looks really cool. So yeah, that's what I got. And I also got a bunch of vinyl, but people aren't tuning in to hear about vinyl, so I'll save that for later.
I got one cool vinyl from Record Store Day.
Oh, I did get something from Gabe from Record Store Day. Yeah, that's right. Gabe stood in line for me, got me this really boss Andromeda Strain LP that was Awesome. I can't thank you enough for doing that for me. That was exciting.
No problem. I'm just glad I got it. I was excited. I was like, "Ooh, I want this so much for Jet."
I don't even know what it is, but I want it for my friend.
Yeah,
That was
so
awesome.
I picked that up for you. I had people kind of snickered at me because I ended up picking up Miley Cyrus for a friend.
Oh yeah, that's right. And you got SpongeBob, right?
No, yeah, I got that off of a different website, but Record Store Day, I got Thomas the Train,
Oh,
Space Jam, and what is
Space Jam. That movie sucks.
it? Yeah.
Hey,
And then what was the other
you're
movie?
fired.
Oh, Blade Runner. The Blade Runner soundtrack was.
Oh yeah, I gotta get that. Some guy sent me the
Record Store
movie.
Day was nuts. That was my first Record Store Day, and it was like free comic book day, but less like hectic and less like arguing and stuff. Like I was like the fifth person in line, and everybody was like, "What records do you want?" I was like, "I want this, this, and this." And like, that's fine. Nobody wants those. Those are yours. You know, so everybody already had dibs on their records by the time you got there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
But that's right. Free comic book days this weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
If you go out, everybody, and you get free comics, buy something from the store too. Don't be that person.
They usually have discounts going on Free Comic Book Day too.
Yeah, and it's only certain comics that are free. You don't just walk in and go, "Oh, that book behind the counter, that's $400. Is that one free? It's free comic book day." No, no, you're a dick.
I guess I'll show off my books now.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude.
So I had a pretty decent haul. Trying to sit up straight. All right, so I had a pretty decent haul. This is from the last couple weeks. This week I ordered a lot more stuff, so hopefully I'll get that in by the next show so I can talk about those. I'll start small, go big. First book is.
Wait, do we have your picture?
What was that?
Do you have him up, Gabe?
Yeah, I got Riley. Yeah, we got.
Oh, okay, there he is. Okay, there he is.
Did I
have him
leave
for a sec? Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, so the first thing, the only manga in my stack this week, there will be a lot more next week, I assure you, is Naruto, the Seventh Hokage and the Scarlet Spring. This was kind of an epilogue to the Naruto series, skipped forward into the future. So you got to see Naruto there on the front as an adult, and like Sasuke and all the others as adults. And it focuses a little bit on their children. Sasuke's daughter, Sarada, and Naruto's son, Boruto, are in there. Mostly it's about Sarada and her. She's kind of exploring her parents because she doesn't believe that Sakura is actually her mom. And so you get a little story about her. It's only 10 chapters. It wrapped up a couple months after the main Naruto series wrapped up, and then a little bit after that wrapped up, they started the ongoing Boruto series, which I read this week, and I was actually pleasantly surprised with the first volume of that because it made me feel the exact same way I felt when I first started reading Naruto, like back when I was in middle school, when I was like 12 or younger, whatever it was. So I was like, all of a sudden a 12-year-old kid again enjoying these shonen manga. So I recommend it if you're a fan of Naruto. It holds up pretty well. Next, a couple of thin paperbacks. The first one is Cage by Gendy Tartakovsky. I didn't want to butcher the name. Tartakovsky. Of course, he is the artist behind stuff like Clone Wars and Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, that kind of good stuff. And he did a 4-issue Luke Cage miniseries, which I believe is set during, because it features him in his old costume, and it's just this ridiculous, fun comic with just cartoony art. It's a ton of fun, and it's got some really trippy art sequences too that I really love.
I love him for
Yeah.
Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I really like this miniseries. It's only 4 issues, so the trade paperback is $15. It's pretty cheap on in-stock trades. So I don't think it'll ever get a hardcover treatment. So I figured I might as well dive in and grab the paperback.
On my
Next,
wish list.
I was about to say, for real, I'm adding that right now, dude.
another that I picked up, small paperback, was Karnak. This came out
Great.
a little while ago. I just didn't grab it yet. Of course, it's a 6-issue miniseries that focuses on the character Karnak of the Inhumans. This is placed after Secret Wars, written by Warren Ellis with art by Gerardo Zaffino and Roland Bashi. Miniseries giving a lot of good focus to Karnak as a character, which you don't see too much focus of him. Usually Black Bolt is the focus, or Medusa is the focus of Inhuman stories. But this is really cool because you get to see him and the way he fights. Because his power, of course, is to find the weakness in all things. So, of course, he'd be a great martial artist because he can exploit the weaknesses in anyone that he fights. And it has great artwork throughout from both Zaffino and Bashi.
It's a great
I really
book.
dug it.
I love that book.
Yeah, I'm
$18
glad
played.
to see Karnak get some love because of what happened in Inhumanity.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad he came back, and I'm glad he came back strong.
And that Jenkins series did some really good work with him too. How the way he looks at people and he sees the flaws and people.
That was the first place I really got to know him and got to know how cool of a character he was. And then I was disappointed to not see much of him until recently. Kind of, I guess. Moving on, there's a few thicker paperbacks. The first one is the new printing of Ghost Rider by Daniel Way. I passed on this when it first came out because I was like, I don't really care. And then people said that this actually is a really good read, especially if you're a fan of Jason Aaron's Ghost Rider, which I am. I've been a fan of that one since I first got it years ago and first read it back before it became a whale. So I know that's why a lot of people try to get it now. But anyway, this contains the first 19 issues of that ongoing Ghost Rider series. Just telling the story right before the Jason Aaron one was. And it became a little bit of a whalette for a while, as far as I saw. And they just reprinted it, so you can get it now on in-stock trades for like $20 or something instead of, over cover. So that's pretty nice. Next, a Spider-Man trade. This one came out recently. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man by Peter David Complete Collection. This book contains issues 5 through 23 and annual number 1. Written, of course, by Peter David. It's got a lot of artwork by Mike Wieringo, Todd Knock, Scott Eaton, and others. So a lot of good artists within this book. This takes place during some of the time that was doing Amazing Spider-Man. Parts of it tied in with some of the Amazing Spider-Man stories that were going on during JMS's run. So that's why it's missing issues 1 through 4, because those were tied in. I'm looking forward to reading this because I really like that era, and I really like Peter David as a writer. The one thing I'm disappointed in, though, is that the spine is white, and it does not match the red spines of like every other fucking Spider-Man book. So it sticks out like a sore thumb, and I place it away from all of those books. So on my shelf, chronologically, it's out of order just because I don't want to break up the pattern. Next book, moving into DC stuff, my Batman Legacy Volume 1 paperback. This follows, this is after Contagion, which was a storyline that was after Nightfall. So this is just the latest book in the long series of Batman paperbacks and hardcovers and stuff that DC has been publishing the last few years to bridge basically from Nightfall all the way to the modern Batman stuff. So that's really cool. I'm kind of confused as to why they didn't just make it a single big volume instead of splitting it into a couple at least, because DC has had no qualm with making really thick Batman paperbacks, as witnessed by, I don't know, Nightfall. So
No Man's Land.
yeah, No Man's Land's fucking thick as well. Those are like 400 plus pages. But yeah, I mean, I guess whatever you want to do, DC. I mean, I'm not your consumer or anything. I don't know what we want. But next, Batman. I also got All-Star Batman Volume 1. Scott Snyder with JR Jr. Also, Declan Shalvey does artwork for a backup feature in here that focuses on Duke, the kid that joined as a new partner for Batman, but he's not necessarily a Robin. He doesn't really have a name yet. He doesn't have a superhero name yet. They've been teasing it for a while. And he wears like a black motorcycle suit with a yellow with a like black visor on his helmet. Basically this story has Batman and Two-Face going on a road trip where Batman's trying to protect him from these people basically who are trying to hunt him down because he set a bounty on himself. And it's pretty straightforward. It has a lot of cool action. If you're a fan of JR Jr., then you'll like the artwork. If you're not, then you obviously won't like the artwork. I'm kind of ambivalent. Like I like him sometimes. I don't like him sometimes. I don't really care. In this book, he was better than other times. I think a lot of it has to do with who's inking and who's coloring it, though. And this one I felt was better than other books that he's done, like, for instance, Avengers by Brian Bendis, which I think was some of his worst work. But whatever, people will buy it because they'll like it. Whatever, I'm not gonna sell it on anyone here.
Who's the inker on that series?
Oh, it's Danny Mickey.
He's a good inker.
Which was the person who replaced Jonathan Glapion, I believe, on the previous Batman book. It also has Tom Palmer, Sandra Hope, and Richard Friend.
That's a lot of inkers. That's a huge like style difference because
Dick
Tom
Friend,
Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter, but Kick-Ass.
There's an example of the art in there.
Richard Friend.
He's an Image guy, or he used
Dick Friend.
But anyway, moving forth, Roughneck by Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, I ordered that.
I haven't touched it yet. I mean, I've touched it. I'm touching it right now, but I haven't read it yet.
Touch me, Riley.
I just know I'm a huge fan of Jeff Lemire, and I've loved all of his creator-owned books and graphic novels, and so I knew that I had to get that. So I'll read it eventually. Next is this week's disappointing book of the week. Spider-Man: The Clone Conspiracy. And my disappointment has nothing to do with the quality of the story, because I absolutely fucking loved this story. It was a great crossover. I really enjoyed what happened. I love the way that Slott did this. But, and this is obviously, at this point, we know that this is a continuing trend in shittiness that Marvel is doing with their Spider-Man hardcovers. They can't fucking put the issues in the right order.
That drives me freaking crazy.
And the thing is, it's not like one of those cases where, for instance, in like the War of Kings, where the issues from each series are separated. That works okay because each story from each series was mostly separate, where you can read it as its own thing. Part of this works that way. There's issues from the Silk series and issues from the Prowler series that appear in this book. Excuse me, I have a tickle in my nose. And they work separately just fine. If you want to keep those separate, that's fine. They tell their own story that spins out of some of the events in the crossover. But the issues of Amazing Spider-Man and the issues of the Clone Conspiracy miniseries, they happen intermittently. So reading them out of order doesn't make sense. It would be like reading Infinity, but reading like the issues of Infinity first, and then reading Avengers, and then reading New Avengers, instead of reading them in chronological order. It just doesn't make any sense. And the part that makes it even worse for me is that they included in here.
Yeah, they rub it
A
in your
map.
face. They rub it in your face.
Yeah, they include a map in here that shows you the chronological order of each of these issues. And you can see on there, those first 2 lines, those are the issues of Amazing Spider-Man and of Clone Conspiracy. And it tells you exactly when it happens. And you can see, like I said, that they move back and forth intermittently. And this is what they say. This is what the fucking text says on here. True believers. I'm not a fucking true believer anymore, Marvel. The pulse-pounding tale you're about to read is multifaceted and complex, like everyone reading it. That says that. It actually says that.
Oh, it does?
We've given it to you in the order we believe will make each story the most pleasing experience possible. That's bullshit. It doesn't actually say that. However, because each of the stories here departs and arrives at different moments in the overall Uber story, there was no possible way to bind it up chronologically. If you want to get it as chronologically accurate as possible, we offer this humble chart. Every reader is different, so we hope this helps you enjoy the Clone Conspiracy in whichever way you see fit. Signed, Nick Lowe, editor. Fuck you, Nick Lowe. You fucked this up. Again, if you were the editor on
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Actually, Jennifer Grunwald was the collection editor. So usually I'm a huge fan of Jen, so I don't want to say anything mean to her. But come on.
Dan Slott was on Word Balloon, the Word Balloon podcast with John Suntress just recently. And they talked about Clone or Spider, whatever that fucking name of that book is. I'm sorry.
Clone Conspiracy?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry. They talked about that, and they talked about the reasoning why they put it in the order that they did. And I feel it's just the most kind of just lame excuse ever for putting it in that way. They put it in that order so that all of the artwork matches each other for the storylines. So that way, when you're reading it, it's not, this artist style, and then the next issue, a different artist, next issue, a different artist, next issue, the first artist, which doesn't help me. I don't care. I don't care because honestly, when it comes down to it, artists change every time an editor farts and an artist changes on an ongoing series. So we've all kind of grown accustomed to having different artists on storylines. Hell, there's been different artists in the same issue of a book before, but that was Dan Slott's reasoning. It's not Dan Slott. It was not his choice, but that was editorial's idea and why they did it that way. And Dan Slott even mentioned that so many times at conventions when he's doing signings, people will show up with Spider-Verse and they're all just like sticky noted all over the place.
Yeah. Can the new Spider-Man book be read with sticky notes, or is it even worse than Spider-Verse?
It can be read with sticky notes. You just have to. I would recommend just looking at that map and then just going back and forth between the issues of Amazing Spider-Man and Clone Conspiracy.
Okay.
And I can see what they're trying to say, like, because the artist, it's Jim Chung and Giuseppe Camuncoli, and they are very different. But the thing is, and I wouldn't mind as much if every issue, when you got it from the newsstand, if the front page, like the exposition page or whatever, if it did not say, this issue continues from Amazing Spider-Man number 20. And then at the end it says, to be continued in Amazing Spider-Man 21, when you're holding issue like 3 of Clone Conspiracy. It tells you to read it in that order.
Yeah.
So that pissed me the fuck off. And if they release it again, like they did with Spider-Verse, the main story was re-released in the Amazing Spider-Man hardcover. If they do that for this story, if they fix it, then I'll chuck that out the window and then get that. But I'm calling it quits on any Spider event books after this. Because, fool me once, fuck you, fool me twice. I'm still fucking pissed.
Yeah, I'm not getting that book because of that. It just doesn't. Spider-Verse was just not a pleasant read for me. It was a chore. And I
It's such
know
a
there was a
chore,
good story. I know there was a good story in there. It looked fun, but I couldn't understand it. I mean, I had sticky notes out the wazoo. It was just too much work.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing is that,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, Dan Slott says at conventions, people bring their books all sticky noted and like,
Yeah.
color coded. And he seemed like, oh, well, you know, that's, you know, not against anything in Dan Slott's editorial, but he just seemed like, well, that's the way it works. And it's kind of weird that you guys decided to like bookmark it in your own fashion. And it's just like, no, like when, and John Suntress, the host, was like, no, Dan, I'm going to stop you right there. He called them out and was like, no, like, I agree. These things should be in chronological order. Like, how does that not make sense? How is that a bad thing that we want to read it in order and that we want to read it and not to like fucking flip through pages and spend 3 minutes to find the next issue? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it halts the reading, and it just doesn't make for a great experience. But I'll skip ahead and go ahead the next couple books real quickly. I also got Exo Manowar Volume 4, which picks up after Armor Wars. I also got Nightfall Omnibus, but I have that over here, and I don't want to pick it up because it's heavy. And then I also, and I'm really excited for this one, got the complete phonogram.
Yeah, mine hasn't come in yet.
You vinyl guys.
I want that just because of McNiven's art. Not McNiven. Fuck. I'm sorry.
McKelvey.
That guy is.
It looks great. This is like the OG Gillen McKelvey team up. And originally it was in black and white, so you get some new colored artwork in here, and it collects all 3 of the phonogram miniseries.
Such a good book. I loved that book.
I've not read it yet, but I'm super excited because I've been wanting to read it for a long time. And the art's just gorgeous. Just being a fan of that team, it's definitely something I know I'm going to enjoy. So that's all the books that I got. And then like Jess, I have some toys to show. I'm just going to give a quick thought on each one of these because unlike some people, I play with my toys. So these are the X-Men Legends Wave 2, the 2017 X-Men Legends wave. Really quickly, I'll run through these. All right, so I think one of the more popular, because this one was 2 in a box, Old Man Logan. You get him in the current costume from like Extraordinary X-Men. He's got little like cowboy boot looking shoes.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
Adjustable claws. My claws look like shit though. And then I've got Polaris. She came with the generic light effect. 2 of them. So it looks like she's somehow, this generic light effect also means magnetism.
I thought she was Doctor Strange for a second.
But she's very, very green. No heels. No heels, which is fun for a female character because most of them do have like raised heels, which puts off their balance a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
One of the larger figures, or the largest figure aside from the Build-A-Figure from this set, Colossus.
Ooh, he is big.
He's significantly, and Logan is really short. So if you put them next to each other, he's like probably a solid 2 inches.
I like
bigger.
that. That's cool.
It's scaled. Yeah, that's good stuff.
He comes with his head from the current, or not current, but the Extraordinary run, with spiked hair and a beard. So that's replaceable, and I just have him with the classic head right now. I wish they'd do a classic costume Colossus in the new style. And then, for some reason, this came with a Disco Farrah Fawcett.
Woohoo! Actually, my favorite figure.
I have that poster on my wall as a kid.
I love that figure. At first, I hated it. Now I love it. It's so weird.
Complete with roller skates and all. Dazzler. I'm not a fan of Dazzler, and I'm not a fan of this figure either. because it's just so funny.
Yeah.
Like she's got the perfectly feathered Farrah Fawcett hair. Like look at that detail. It's just insane that they put that much detail because this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is a completely new sculpt for hair. She's got her microphone accessory, her roller skates. Got the shoes look like disco balls.
Nice.
She's got a disco ball necklace on between her boobs. And then she has the rainbow light effect. This is the second light effect. The other one is more like the bubbly magic effect, and this one is straight up light.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent figure. I wish they would have used the later version with the brown jacket, like the leather jacket and the headband, where she looked more like a punk rocker. What was up?
The 90s version with the short hair, where she's hooking up a long shot?
Yeah, I like that version better.
Yeah. The one from the video game and from the big arcade game, the 4-player arcade.
Yeah. And then this one's great. Sunfire, who was one of the X-Men from Giant Size and then would team up with them intermittently, and then he joined on Uncanny Avengers a few years ago. This looks great. The mask is fantastic. The paint apps are pretty great. And I really like the application, their use of, I believe these were used with Iron Fist previously.
Mm-hmm.
So they look really nice with him as well. Let's see. And then I think this is one of the more sought after ones in this line would be Cyclops.
Yeah. He's hard to find.
He's looking pretty good. This belt is actually removable, the one around his chest. So if you want to, you can make him not wear a belt.
Why would
He's
you
got
want
plenty of.
That's the best part.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to take it off. He's got the visor and the visor hand as well, so you can make him look like he's pew pew.
Well, he's got the big cuffs too. The big cuffs on his wrist.
Yeah, he's got the cuffs on there too.
Does he have the black? I'm sorry. Does he have the leather jacket?
No leather jacket. But it's a pretty solid figure. It's definitely a solid figure, and I'm really looking forward to and hoping I can pick up the Toys R Us exclusive one that comes with the Dark Phoenix in the red costume.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna pick up the Walgreens Human Torch. I really want that Human.
That looks pretty dope too. This is the most surprising one to me. I actually really dig this figure. This Shatterstar.
Yes.
That's complex.
So he's got his two swords. This one has the double blade. This one's a single blade. He's got the little weird headpiece, kind of leather looking, with the ponytail mullet and the little braids on the sides. He's got nice pouchy belt, and he's got the shoulder pad actually has some detail to it that you can't really see here, but it's like got scratches on it, like it's been cut, and it's got kind of a turtle shell marbling effect. So it actually has a lot more detail than I thought that this figure was going to have, and I'm more impressed with this one than with most of the figures in this line, because this line, while fun, I was not as happy with it as the first line that they did last year. But I tell you what I am happy with is the Build-A-Figure.
Oh, look at that.
Which was Warlock from the New Mutants. And if we thought that Colossus was tall, Warlock is easily another couple inches taller than Colossus.
That's awesome.
So Warlock comes with a replaceable or detachable saw hand, and you can put in a fist hand as well. It's got pretty good articulation here. His head moves around. There's a lot of detail on his hair and stuff like that, and it's really cool. Completely original sculpt. I have no idea what they'd ever use any of these pieces again for. So they did a lot of work just to get a Warlock. So that was really cool, and that's it. And I think I would love to spend time for us talking about what we read, but I feel like we should go straight into our topic.
Okay, I got to go take a quick break because my pain meds are wearing off and my tooth hole is killing me. So get started, and I'll be right back.
You know what? I would really love if they did a Acolyte Colossus figure.
Yeah.
When he turns heel in Uncanny X-Men 300. I would love a figure of that. That would be cool. And Shatterstar is cool too because they gave him like that little cape too. The little like the small cape, kind of like how Captain Marvel has.
Yeah, he's got the nice little cape, and I'm hoping that they'll do some other '90s X-Force figures, like, or other related figures. Like, I really want to see a new Longshot.
That'd be cool.
Um,
Have they done a long shot before?
they did an older Longshot that I think is pretty easy to find, but I want one that matches with the style of the current figures because the old ones don't always look good with the new ones.
Yeah, that's true. There's different
Oh.
scales and stuff. I have
But
I don't have any new Marvel Legends. I have the old Toy Biz ones.
Yeah. But I know also that they're doing a Deadpool series coming up soon that has like 90s Deadpool, and it says Cable, but it didn't say like what kind of Cable. So I'm hoping / guessing it's going to be Cable from the original New Mutants series, which would be really cool, which would be the Cable that I have as a Marvel Select figure, but I'd rather have him as a Legends just to stay in scale with the rest of them.
Yeah, I have a poster here beside my computer. That's 1992 calendar of X-Force. And that Cable is like the giant shoulder pads that has like the fringes on it and cool stuff like that. That's basically the cover of the Avenger or X-Force #1. But dude, if they did like a T-Ray, if they did a T-Ray figure in that set, I'd be all over that figure.
No, I was thinking about that, because I was like, it would be cool if T-Ray was like the Build-A-Figure, but it's actually Strong Guy.
I guess.
Which is cool, but it doesn't make sense for that set. It would make sense if it was like a X Factor set,
Or I hope they give that Strong Guy figure like a heart attack action built into him or something.
Well, let's get to the main event here. So, like I mentioned earlier, the main idea, the theme of this, the whatever, is we're asking for you guys to give us characters or books or teams that you want to see us, like, would want to know what we would write if we were writing that book, like, just so we can pitch you guys an idea. Just my way of getting us thinking and being a little more creative. So if you guys have any certain characters you want to give us, not looking for specific concepts, because I don't want it to be too hard, but just characters, teams, or certain books that you want us to hear what we might write if we were doing that. So just go ahead and if y'all want to send us some pitches.
Give us your best and your worst. I'm ready for it.
So the first, and I figured that this would happen, was we got Batman.
Batman.
So what do you think would be a good idea if you were writing a Batman comic?
Are you asking us?
I mean, everyone. This is for everyone.
Batman gets a tooth pulled.
I would want to do the death of Batman. And it would involve just lots and lots and lots and lots of grenades.
I had an idea for the death of Batman because I said, like, they always do stuff where something happens to Batman, like Batman R.I.P. He got sent back in time and they thought he was dead. Nightfall, he's broken. But like I was like, I think the death of Batman, if he ever actually did die, should be really like quiet, like he just finds out that he's dying, like he has cancer or some shit like that.
Well,
doesn't tell anyone. What?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I know, Riley, you and I were really big fans of Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
And Justice League Unlimited, and I think it's the last episode of Justice League Unlimited where they kind of touched on, because it's old man Batman, but that last episode is Batman is just really, really kind of frail, and probably the last couple of years of his life, and it's Terry McGinnis, like, helping him with giving him his medicine and stuff. Like that. So if they would expanded, whatever the correct term is, that idea, that'd have been like a cool death story too.
Because yeah, I was gonna say like just make it be disease or age or something normal. But I think disease would be more interesting. Like if he got sick, if something happened to him and it's over time, like, well shit, I'm dying.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't tell anyone because he doesn't want anyone to know. He doesn't want anyone to think weak of him. But eventually, like, it's evident, like maybe he's coughing up blood, you know, maybe he's not having as much energy, he's getting beat, you know, easily, he can't react as quickly. And it just would, you know, he wouldn't tell anyone, but certain people would notice, and I'd have like Alfred would be the first person, and when he comes and tells Alfred, he's like, Alfred, you know, I have to let you know I'm dying, and Alfred would be like, I know, Master Bruce, I've known for a while. And it would just, I want something really heartfelt to happen for that.
Well, it's one of those things where one of Batman's kind of like MacGuffins is that he's rich. And I would like it to be like a disease or a condition that he can't just buy the cure for or develop for himself. Like old age, you just can't, as peak physical condition as Batman is, that is still a strain on your body, and you can't stop that from happening. There's a lot of runners out there or athletes who die at a young age because they're in such peak physical health that their heart still gives out. And I like it to be something like that, that he has absolutely no ability to stop. He can't find a cure. He can't create the cure himself. You know, things like that. You know, that would be kind of like that good kind of. And like you said, I like the idea of it just being like a final story. I don't want him to get shot or stabbed, other than a bunch of grenades. I think a bunch of grenades would be a good idea. But a nice, quiet story of Batman just kind of, just you know, just dying in his sleep is kind of a respectable idea for a character like that.
I had another Batman idea. It was a lot more complex. That had basically, I just wanted to create a new villain, but I wanted to get away from that. There's always an issue that I always have with Batman stories where they introduce new villains. Is it's pretty much the villain's secret identity is whoever the new person is that you've never met before. You know, and spoiler alert,
Hush.
you know, for if you haven't read Hush, you know, you meet Tommy Elliott and it's fucking Tommy Elliott. And then spoiler alert for Court of Owls, you meet Lincoln March and it's Lincoln March. Of course, Lincoln March wasn't Lincoln March's true identity, but it's just that idea that you know who the villain's going to be. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. You know,
it's always the caretaker or the inntaker at the hotel.
Yeah, like whoever they meet, like the first person they meet, that's who the ghost is. It's so easy to see through that, and it sucks because like I can suspend my disbelief enough to like enjoy it, but then in retrospect, when I think back at these stories, I'm like, wow, that was way too simple, and I wish it was a little more complex. And my idea to combat that issue was to have Bruce meet an entire family of people. So that way, you know it's one of them. Like maybe there's like a mom, a dad, a grandparent, and like 3 kids or something. So there's 5 people or 6 people. My math sucks, obviously. There's 6 people that it could be, and you don't find out until like way later on who it is. And over time, they eliminate, you know, this character and they eliminate that character, and they make you completely think it cannot possibly be this one person. So then they bring it down to where it's like gotta be this one guy, but then it's not that one guy, and then instead it's this other person. And that's how I would like just keep fucking going back and forth. And my idea was it would be a family, like I said, and they would have connections to Bruce and his family. They might have, you know, had business connections, and they come into Gotham and they're trying to, you know, set up shop. And so they're working alongside Bruce, and Bruce starts getting to know this family. And essentially something happens. There's a new killer out there. And I wanted, now this is a story I thought up like almost a decade ago. So it might sound really shitty and lame, but I would have like Shakespearean themed murders. And this is going to say like, hey, you know, Shakespeare is a favorite of who? The Joker. So it's connected to the Joker, but it's not the Joker. And he finds that out, and he's super confused. And he's like, who's doing this? Finds out it's someone in the family, and eventually blah, 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 blah. It goes down the line, and it turns out to be like the son in the family who's actually like 10 or something who's doing this shit, and it just fucks with him because he's formed this like familiar bond with this kid, and all of a sudden he's finding out that like this kid is actually psychotic. That was my idea from about like 8 years ago, and it might hold up. I don't know. Just my elevator pitch.
No, one of the ideas that kind of gets kicked around a lot because of the new Batman movie coming out that I like and I would love to see is Batman meets Raid, or Batman meets Judge Dredd, where he's in Arkham Asylum and he kind of has to like fight his way through each level of the complex.
Yeah, that would be dope.
His way out, or to meet the last, character, the last boss, or something like that. Or like Game of Death with Bruce Lee on one of those things where it's like a level by level kind of stage like progress. And when you get to the top of that progress and Batman's beating everybody at the very top of that progress, it's the fucking Crossed.
It's the what?
And I do mean the Crossed, like avatars, like zombies eating each other, and
You love to bring the Crossed in.
Yes.
Let's do what else do you see that people have asked? What else do you guys want to pitch?
There's a Spectre one from Matt. Ooh, Spectre
I know, like
and Phantom Stranger. I'd like to see them teamed up.
Spectre and Phantom Stranger.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of.
Like a supernatural buddy cop kind of storyline.
Yeah, although they're both very humorless characters, I wouldn't mind seeing them teamed up to. You know what character they never did anything with after they created him was what's his name? The kid from Books of Magic. Neil Gaiman.
Tim Hunter.
Yeah. That was a really good series. Actually, I don't think Neil Gaiman wrote that. I mean, they pulled. I think they pulled. Where is Books of Magic? Oh, it is. Okay, I apologize. It is Neil Gaiman. But they had something really good with Timothy Hunter, and I would love to see him revisited with like the Spectre and Phantom Stranger. Dealing with him and maybe throw in Constantine, because I love that book and I love that character. So I'd like to see DC do something more with him, with the supernatural characters. Throw in Deadman too.
Yeah,
I have nothing for those. I'm not familiar
Crickets.
enough.
Sound of crickets. Chirp, chirp.
no, if it was Spectre, not too long ago they put out one of the DC animated films, and it was a Shazam animated film. And with the animated film, they always had like little mini stories with it as well. And there was a Jonah Hex one, but there was a Spectre like kind of mini movie as well. But it was like Spectre in like either like late 70s, early 80s, and he was a detective.
Oh, okay.
Like the coolest storylines I've ever seen, and it had the Spectre involved. For the Spectre in his human form was a detective. I would just love to see more of that, like 80s, late 70s Spectre in that era, like Hollywood. Like if they would expand on that, like that.
Yeah.
Would be so cool.
Well, that's why I was disappointed when Constantine, the TV show, got cut off when it did, because they were just starting to introduce Jim Corrigan and Spectre, and it was just getting interesting. And then the damn show went off the air just as we were getting close to seeing the Spectre on TV, which would have been amazing. That is one of the things I'm a little bit bitter about, is that they're not resurrecting Constantine on the CW or something. That would be great.
Oh, he keeps popping up though. They keep the same actor around to do like,
yeah, that's cool. They should just give him the show back and bring me my Spectre.
The Spectre is such a cool character, especially when my first introduction to the Spectre was when Hal Jordan became the Spectre after that whole what was it called? Last Night or Final Light, Final something like that.
Yeah, I remember the storyline. I can't remember it either, but I know what you're talking about.
There's a good one in the chat for maybe Riley. How about an OGN for Colossus?
If Professor Xavier never tried to get the most diverse team of X-Men from around the world as possible, and he left all the X-Men in their home countries, and Colossus was just left in Russia on the farm using his mutant abilities to help his family. So essentially, you can think of it like Red Sun, but for Colossus. And I imagine that he would gain attention of the Russian government. They would try to use him, but if it was to be used for evil, then the good nature of Colossus overall, he wouldn't budge. He wouldn't be able to do anything for them, and they would basically try to turn him into a slave. To do what they want. They might try to get a telepath to make him do what they want, eventually leading towards Ileana, who would bud her mutant abilities out of rage because of what they're doing to Colossus, to her brother, to go after them and break him free and save him from his captors.
No, I like that. I like that idea because especially when it comes down to Ileana, I like the idea maybe like Ileana being corrupted by like Russian mafia or just like Russian, just like peasantry kind of idea.
Well, I think like if it went if you want to get ridiculous with it, you can throw in
The
like I was gonna say like throw in like something like Rasputin, or someone
or even his brother. What was his brother, Mikhail? How Mikolai? How he was like crazy too.
Well, if you throw in Rasputin and have like reference to sorcery and whatnot, then you can still have Ileana become in contact with demons and make her Darkchild again.
Yeah.
And it could also, if you want to, like I said, get ridiculous with it, you can have her become Darkchild, and in trying to save him, it goes out the window, and she basically becomes a demon and kills them all. Maybe still saves Colossus, but kills everyone else, and then makes him really fucking terrified of her.
Honestly, I would like to see, if I think about it, maybe like the Rasputins immigrating to America. Maybe even like today's society where immigration is such a hot topic.
And they open a dumpling shop?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, sure, but I mean, just instead of it being like, this is nowhere an idea of me getting political, but instead of it being like, oh, we don't want Muslims coming into the country, we don't want muties coming into the country.
Mm.
And how that affects his family on maybe some just dirty industrial shipping yard kind of ship getting into this country, and how they maybe try to sneak in, sneak past, not only with their family, they have Peter, they have Ileana, they have Mikhail, all of them are mutants, and maybe there's some kind of detection or some kind of test that they use, or vetting system to make sure that it's mutants not coming into our country because we have an immigration ban on mutants. Something like that I think would be kind of cool, because it touches on hot topics of today, but instead of it being so in your face of it being Muslims or something like that, more of like what the X-Men's really about, and it's racism and stereotypes against our culture, but it's mutants. We don't want mutants coming in here because they're all dangerous and they're all going to rob banks and they're all explosive and stuff like that.
You know what I feel really fucking stupid about, but I completely forgot that Peter and Ileana's last name is Rasputin, and I was actually referring to Grigory Rasputin, and then that connection just makes it even better, because you can have Grigory Rasputin as an ancestor of their family of the Rasputins, and because he has those connections to, you know, religion and demonism and mysticism, that could be an inherent way to introduce Darkchild in that type of story. So just throw that in there as well.
Anything with Ileana, and I'm good. I love Ileana.
Me too, dude.
This
Yeah,
isn't in the
that's
chat,
what
but I
we
always had kind of a fun idea for Doctor Strange, where instead of him being like a big mystical kind of character, still he's mystical and stuff like that, but more of a street level idea, or more of like The Exorcist, where families call in Doctor Strange because they think their kid or a family member is possessed by a demon. And Doctor Strange goes to the house, meets with the family. Their kid is upstairs freaking out, kind of like on like Exorcist. He goes upstairs, he meets the kid, he does his, you know, special magic kind of idea of what's going on, and he walks downstairs. He talks to and he looks at the parent. He goes, "No, your kid's not possessed by a demon. He's just a mutant," and just kind of walks away. And in the background, you see the family just break down, where they don't want their kid to be a mutant. They were okay with the idea of him being possessed by a demon, but it's even more heartbreaking that it's a mutant because of the mutant stereotypes. I don't know. Just I'm throwing that out there. That's always an idea I had in my head for Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I think I pictured in my head, like, when you said he just turns around and he's like, he's not possessed, he's a mutant. And then like Doctor Strange like throws on his sunglasses and like does a turn, and the cloak like goes up, and it just does the like Matrix like baseline music where they're walking around like, stuff. He just walks out, and like it goes into slow motion with the kid like spitting out tentacles and stuff all over the place, and the parents are just crying like fuck. That's what went through my head when you were saying that.
You guys are a good team.
Gabe and Riley make our own comics.
Yeah.
Gio, our homie Gio, idea for Justice League Dark movie.
Something with Spectre.
Nothing but Zatanna. Just Zatanna.
Oh yeah, Zatanna the whole time.
Yes.
Etrigan needs to be in there, and he'll be rhyming, and then someone will like probably like John Constantine get pissed off at him and be like, "Why the fuck do you have to always rhyme?" And he's like, "Well, I don't. I just enjoy it."
Etrigan is like the greatest rapper of all time because of his rhyming skills.
I'm going to sit down now with a cup of tea and compose some poetry.
Nice.
Because I have a kettle right here, and I can heat it with my fingers.
And I put it in the microwave.
Right. And then I throw it out because demons don't drink tea.
This one's interesting. Pick a Marvel character that for some reason has his new base in your city and the villains / problems he faces.
Oh, because all Marvel heroes are in New York and it gets boring?
Loki in Las Vegas, and he opens up a strip club /
I'm there at that strip club.
And then the Cross just have an outbreak.
Oh, God. Alexandria is so boring. I can't imagine that a villain would even bother popping up here.
What if a villain became like some kind of political figure?
That's happened already.
Oh.
Zinga!
Any spider character in any city in Texas, because you run out of buildings after the first one.
I was going to say, when I was in Texas, I don't really remember that many tall buildings.
Because like they go that, remember the building that I told you was like meant to look like an owl because it was Rice saying fuck you to UT?
Yeah, exactly.
They would swing off of that building and then be like, shit, there's no more buildings. And there was they kind of hit that in Scarlet Spider when he was in Houston, And then he had to hop on a car and go down the freeway. And I thought, like, because at first when they first said like he's going to Houston, I was like, how? That's not going to work. Like, what is he going to do? Create a big like slingshot on the top of a building and just throw himself forward? I don't know how that's going to work. But they had him go down.
He goes on barbecue. It takes 6 hours to cook food because I know Texans down there like to just slow cook all their meat.
Oh yeah, 14 hours, man. 14 hours for a good brisket.
That's nuts.
Oof, God, we had some brisket, man.
Apparently, because we went to Black's, and apparently there's Terry Black's is supposed to be better than Black's. So I feel like maybe we should have gone there, but I'd never been.
Terry Black's?
Yeah, it was like down one of the streets that we were frequenting.
We did see the same street a lot.
Yeah. But Spider-Man if there was a superhero in Austin, I don't know if it would be a spider character. I feel like they would just try to fight the influx of people from California moving here. And there would probably be some sort of like, it would be, let's say it was Spider-Man, then it'd be like Mysterio or someone who's like making people like through some sort of illusion, people in California want to move to Austin. And then like Spider-Man, but I don't want it to be Spider-Man because I want it to be I want it to be a superhero who would get pissed off at there being so many hipsters.
How about the Slingers? The Slingers instead of Spider-Man.
The Slingers?
Yeah, with Peter Parker's other personalities when you had like a kind of like a breakdown.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's like Kane or Ben Reilly go to Austin or San Antonio, and they get jobs at like USAA Auto Insurance just to kind of
or Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Yeah. How about somebody quarter life crisis? Fantastic Four in the MCU. What's your pitches for that? We talked about it earlier today, I think.
How about a good movie?
We did. We did touch on that, and I liked the idea. I forget which one of y'all pitched it, of having them like in the past where they would be interacting with like Hank Pym and stuff.
Oh, in the chat today?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember reading that.
Who said that? Was that you, Gabe?
No, that was Luis. My idea was just Infinity War and the battle with Thanos that we know is going to happen. That's what causes the cosmic event that gives them their powers. And then we can finally have a decent Galactus storyline with the Watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a big storm cloud.
It would be cool if Marvel was just like, if they were making this movie and they're just like, fuck it, and like just decided to go as high concept as possible and have them interact with like all kinds of like those huge entities like, you know, Lord Chaos and Lord Order and Eternity and all that kind of shit, and just like
the Living Tribunal. Yeah,
just blow people away with like the scene where Doctor Strange goes through the astral plane, except that for 2.5 hours.
Anything's better than what we've got.
I would just love to see them a story of them in like the negative zone where Annihilus is like.
I like that idea too, because I think the negative zone could be a cool way to show us something different from what we've seen in these movies.
Yeah, I mean these movies with Infinity War and Infinity Gauntlet or whatever the second, movie's gonna be called. You're in space. I mean, where else can you go in space? Every other movie, once you hit space, like Leprechaun or Jason movies, the next step is the ghetto. But instead of that, we can make it in the negative zone is around by the crust.
Everything is the cross. Ooh, Guy Gardner versus hipsters. That's great. I
That's-
like that idea.
That's every Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan story ever, though.
But I can imagine Guy, like, he's been out with the lanterns and he's finally, like, you know, taking leave and going back to Earth, and he's somewhere like Portland or Austin, and
And he
he's
goes to
going
the Alamo movie theater out there that you guys have, and he just gets pissed.
But he goes and he's like, I want to see him go to a bar, and like he's drinking and he's just pissed off because of all the people that are coming in there, and he's like, fucking Pabst Blue Ribbon is not a good beer, and
But yeah,
just yelling at all these people. I would
he's
like,
like, PBR is a terrible beer. Why don't you guys have something decent like Bud Light or Miller High Life?
and then everyone like turns at him and starts laughing, and he's like, you want to fucking go? And just beats the shit out of everyone.
Where he goes and it's like nickel beer night. He's like, sweet nickel beers, and doesn't tip.
There's a recent, here's some slight spoilers. There was a recent issue of the Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps series where Guy Gardner fights Arkillo, but they take off their rings, and he's just like, let's fucking go, bro. Let's go. And he just like, they have a beat down, and he just beats the shit out of him. I would like to see that.
Who got the shit beat out of him?
Arkillo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a guy like went fucking like 10 rounds with him. He got like destroyed, but he kept going. He just kept getting up. And he's like, you know, I think he put in there something like, my dad used to beat me and when I was a kid, and I had to learn how to keep getting up, and it showed him like a scene of him fighting back. And then he just beats the crap out of Arkillo, and Arkillo's like, all right, I get it.
That just brings me back to the really cool Charles Soule series where Guy Gardner was in charge of the Red Lanterns.
Oh, yeah. I love the Red Lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
I love
How would we make Aunt May die?
Car accident.
Ouch.
the current hot Aunt May. I don't want her to die.
Maybe she gets thrown off of a bridge and Spider-Man tries to web her up and he accidentally cracks her neck.
Or she gets the virus from the crossed.
Yes.
Maybe she's actually been a villain the whole time.
She's
She's secretly a sleeper agent for Hydra.
Maybe she just falls and can't get back up.
She just stays down.
Yeah.
Her life alert ran out of batteries.
Yeah. Nothing can protect her from stairs.
It's like that Ultimate X-Men issue where, like, I think it was Sinister, like, pushing Xavier out of his chair down the stairs.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I mean, that was like what, 7 years ago? You can't do that today. Like that would be
No.
such an outrage.
But I'm trying to think of how to kill Aunt May, and it's just a funny thing to be thinking in my head. Like, how should I kill this old lady? And I started thinking for a second, like, what if Doc Ock, like, kidnapped her because he's still obsessed with her, and apparently he's never going to get back with Anna Maria. And I'm imagining him, like, holding her with one of his tentacles and just, like, climbing up the side of a building like King Kong. And he gets to the top, and he's like, you know, Spider-Man, I've got your aunt, and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, he accidentally, like, has killed her as he's crawling up the building already.
He reaches for a pack of smokes and lighter and drops Aunt May as he reaches for the smokes. Well, I forgot she was in my hand.
I was just going to say that he accidentally crushed her.
Oh. I thought he got distracted and dropped her.
He just changes her medicine out of that medicine container that has each day of the week, and he just puts Tuesday and Friday's medicine.
Puts them in the wrong day.
Triple dose of her heart medicine.
Her heart literally just grows 3 times that day. I don't know. Should slip in the shower, something like that. Slip in the shower, hit her head somewhere. Peter comes home from a long day of like fighting Norman Osborn. She's laying on the ground, bleeding out, and he just gets really depressed. She hits her head on the shower, the like, and like bleeds out on the ground, and she's just got the shower curtain wrapped around her, and the issue ends with just like, you know, that cliffhanger, and then the little tease for like next issue. Fucking R.I.P. Aunt May.
How about she just dies and Peter and Mary Jane give up their marriage to save her life? Because that would be stupid. That's the dumbest storyline ever. I'm sorry. How did I come up with that? Maybe her Social Security runs out.
She's kicked out of her apartment. She's starving on the streets.
You got like Rocket Racer that steals her Social Security out of her like purse or her mailbox, and she just can't afford her like medicine anymore.
Oh man! All right, what other good ideas?
Well, how else can we kill her Aunt May? This is the best part of the show so far.
Yeah, we could do a whole show about killing Aunt May.
The death of Aunt May.
Die of dysentery like Oregon Trail.
Nice, Eric. Nice. How about she's just disappointed that she finds out Peter Parker has a shitty job after like 30 years? It just dies out of disappointment.
You're still
like,
taking pictures?
Yeah, damn it, Peter. You have like a fucking high degree in science things, and you're still taking pictures and teaching. What an asshole. You should have been making a lot of money and like taking care of me. My wife is listening very loudly in the other room to Careless Whisper by George Michael.
Deadpool.
A Deadpool story.
A Deadpool moment with Careless Whisper. Isn't that during the Deadpool movie?
Oh.
I think it's.
Oh, I thought you were saying we need to pitch a Deadpool story.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, that's a natural lead-in. Careless Whisper. She's listening to Careless Whisper, and Deadpool comes in and steals her from Riley because she knows where the best piece of pizza is in Austin at Home Slice Pizza. Oh, wait, he likes chimichangas. I fucked the story up.
Chimichangas.
Yeah, someone wants you to just to say a Deadpool / Harley crossover.
I don't know. I love Harley and I love Deadpool. They would be good goofy together.
You would need like a straight person to kind of even out like the story on something like that.
Yeah. How about
like
they? It has to have something to do with food because I'm hungry right now and I can only eat yogurt.
Aunt May makes Jello, like the best like Jello ever.
Yeah, and you put cyanide in the Jello and feed it to her.
It's Jello full of like fruit cocktail.
Yeah, well, I do love Harley and I do love Deadpool, and together, you're right. There'd be so many wisecracks. You would need a straight person.
It should be Deadpool Harley versus like Paste Pot Pete, and
Paste Pot Pete.
And damn it, what's the name of the mailman for the Baxter Building?
Willie Lumpkin.
There you go, that guy.
Willie Lumpkin. Man, what a pull that was. The mailman for the Baxter Building.
I think that just proves like how much knowledge we have of random corners of the comic universe.
I'll take comic book mailman for 400, please, Alex.
He was the mail person that attended to the Baxter Building for the Fantastic Four. Who is Willie Lumpkin?
That is correct.
I have one that no one's asking for, but I think this idea is $1 million idea, and I hope that someone important hears it. So here's a 4-issue miniseries called wait for it. Called Iron Man and Power Fist.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Iron Man and Power Fist instead of Power Fist and Iron Man, instead of Power Man and Iron Fist. So what happens is Power Man and Iron Fist, Luke and Danny are off on one of their regular old adventures, being some heroes for hire, and some magic fucker comes and fuses them together because he thinks it would be funny. And so you get this like this fusion of both Danny and Luke, and they're like, well, shit, what the fuck are we supposed to do now? And so they go running around and they're trying to figure it out, and they try to go find Doctor Strange. And when they go to try to find him, for some reason they run into Tony, and they're like, all right, well, Tony, we're going to need some help, to find Doctor Strange. He's like, okay, well, let's do that. Let's go find Doc, and we'll do whatever we need to do. And they're like, cool, it's going to be like an old-fashioned team-up. And he's like, cool, it'll be Iron Man
And
Power Fist.
Power
And then
Fist.
Tony's like, God damn it. Shut the fuck up.
Power Fist. That sounds like porn.
It sounds like a really bad sex toy.
Power Fist.
That
Double fisting,
would
like
be
Black
made.
Angus style.
But I just imagine like someone just calling them Power Fist, and then like Luke Cage, like, because they each have their own like personality, like bubbles in Power Fist's head, and Luke is just like,
Power Fist.
he's just like, what the fiddle faddle is this stuff? Like, just getting really pissed off, and then like Danny is all about it. He's like, Power Fist, Power Fist, Power Fist.
So it's kind of like Firestorm, where you have like the straight person who is like the doctor, and then you got like Robbie, who is just like the jock kid who knows nothing about science.
Yeah, it'd be like that,
And then
except
the
it
fist
should
is really
never have
just kinda
happened.
like the Hunter S. Thompson Gonzo fist that has like the peyote in the middle of it, the 2 thumbs. Somebody said
We should
Zelda
have a
Mega Man. Zelda Mega Man, go.
Wait, what?
Somebody wants the story of Zelda and Mega Man.
Oh, but before that, I just thought that this was hilarious. I wish we could have a Galactus miniseries where he is taught how to make love good.
Is there anything like Peter Parker teaching Beyond how to take a dump?
Make love good.
And that
Make
was
love
Secret
good
Wars.
or make love
Like make good love with someone, or
make love good.
like make the concept of love into something that's good.
Yeah.
I think he's making love good. He's pounding a female Galactus.
Female Galactus.
And just
Galacta.
Galactus going balls deep on somebody. In the,
Do you want to see what Build-A-Figures used to look like back in the beginning? I
You have the giant Galactus.
do have the giant Galactus. I just got it from Mike Ashley. Let me go get it. He's huge.
I got a huge Galactus too, and that's not like a entendre or anything.
Batman makes love good. Jess Bragg makes love well.
Here, I got this giant Galactus from San Diego Comic-Con like 10 years ago. From the Marvel Legends line.
The fucking huge one.
Yeah, dude, it came in like a case. Like a suitcase.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, this thing is the shit.
So that Zelda Mega Man crossover though, for some reason I'm just imagining like Link putting on Mega Man's helmet and blaster, and then he would get, instead of the Master Sword, he'd have the Master Blaster.
That also sounds like a sex toy.
Yeah, that Galactus is ginormous.
Here's Galactus as a Build-A-Figure. compared to the current Build-A-Figure of Sandman.
Yeah, even like
Well, after the Galactus
Warlock.
was the Sentinel Build-A-Figure, so they used to be really, really big at the time.
Yeah.
and
Look at this
Apocalypse was a big one.
Yeah.
Fin Fang Foom was pretty big too.
So
It had no underwear. That was disappointing.
I can't even fit Galactus and Sandman in here.
That's what she said.
That's what he said. I can't fit them both in here. It's too small. Okay, here they are. With the Galactus skirt. Yeah, so that's a bitchin' Build-A-Figure.
How
Did you
about
get to build it?
Sorry?
You get to build it?
No, it came built. It came built. It has a couple of scuff marks on it, but Mike gave me a really good deal on it. He gave me a really good deal on it. I was pretty pumped to get it.
how about Galactus gets drunk in the Hercules miniseries in the 80s?
How would you fix the DCEU?
I'm busy playing with my Sandman Build-A-Figure right now.
Gonna go blind.
You're
Whoa!
gonna get hair on your palms.
I
I would fix the DCEU by firing Zack Snyder.
You're not going to get an argument from too many people.
would just turn up the contrast by like 30%.
Yeah. Good point.
Switch up the brightness.
Yeah. Make it so it's not
I
all
would
circular.
fire Snyder, and I would want a better producers, because I feel like they're interfering too much and making everything the same, and that stinks.
I mean, honestly, I think the best way to really kind of get... I mean, it's already kind of too late because they kind of went the opposite route of Marvel, where it's like you introduce like all the characters at once and then you get the spin-offs. I want them to introduce the fourth world characters already. Like, I want to see Kirby's fourth world characters like Calabac and Mr. Miracle and those kind of characters. I think that since nobody really knows about those characters, you can introduce them any way you want, and there's no real like preconceived notions or ideas behind those characters. Plus, they got their first appearances, and I want that book to go up in value. But if you kind of do the whole idea of like Galactus and the Highfather exchanging kids in the kind of like then kind of like a swap deal to kind of save war from happening, I think that would be a really cool idea for the DCU and kind of go outside your idea of, because right now the DCU honestly is just a Batman storyline. It's just a Batman universe that they're building up. So they really need to get past that. As cool as Batman is, Batman's one of my favorite characters. You need to get past the Batman storylines.
There's only so much Batman you can do, and there's only so many times you can make other superheroes also be Batman and team up with Batman and fight against Batman.
Because, I mean, if you think about everything that they've done right now is in the outlook of Batman. I mean, Man of Steel is basically turned into Bruce Wayne's outlook of Superman destroying, their whole city and destroying part of Gotham, or destroying Metropolis, or destroyed some of Wayne's buildings and stuff like that. Batman versus Superman, and then you have Suicide Squad and Suicide Squad 2. It's all Batman related. You need to get past that, and it's or characters like Blue Beetle, maybe Booster Gold, maybe fourth world characters and stuff like that.
Well, I'm hoping we see some fourth. We're going to see some fourth world stuff in the Justice League movie. So that'll be good.
Yeah, I mean with Darkseid and like the Parademons, but I would love to see like Mr. Miracle and stuff like that. I would love to
Or
see.
Ryan or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Big Barda. I would love to see like
Oh,
some beautiful actress play Big Barda. Like
my first childhood crush on a comic character, Big Barda.
Yep. Or what's the name of that? Mother Mary, not Mother Mary, but like the weird.
Oh, Granny Goodness or whatever her name was.
Yeah, there you go. I just want to see I'm going to see the Planet of Apocalypse to show up. Like that'd be amazing.
That'd be a good TV show if they could do a New Gods TV show. Speaking of gods, did you guys see American Gods?
I did not.
It's
Nope.
quite good.
I honestly haven't heard about it until just recently.
Right. You haven't read the book then, right?
No, nothing like that.
I haven't watched it. I haven't read it. I know about it. I'll probably watch it at some point. But I'm intrigued by it, to say the least.
Yeah.
But I also the other media thing that we saw geek related was the trailer for Dark Tower popped up.
Yeah. I'm not buying Matthew McConaughey, quite frankly, as the Man in Black.
As a Texan and someone who lives in Austin right now, where not where Matthew McConaughey was from, but where he frequents, I have to back him. And I also for a long time now have really, really wanted to read the Dark Tower comics and to get the Dark Tower omnibuses, but I never have a chance. I never have any extra cash on me in my budget to buy it, unless I just like completely murder past my budget and become killed by my wife and never get to read it anyway. So, I mean, I never ask for anything, but if anyone ever wanted to send me the Dark Tower Omnis, just saying.
Oh, that's just blatant.
They're pretty inexpensive these days.
Blatant apple polisher.
They're like 80-ish bucks each online, I think.
I thought
Which
they
is-
got dropped even lower. Didn't they get clearanced out?
They were getting clearanced out, but like they've maintained that same pricing. Let me see if it.
Is it more than just that slipcase, or what?
There's two slipcases.
Yeah.
There's the Dark Tower and then the Dark Tower Gunslinger.
Oh, okay. Because I got the Dark Tower slipcases for my wife's brother is really obsessed with the Dark Tower, and I got that for him for like $50, like a year ago for that slipcase. Like, so.
There's one on for 76.
That's a Dark Tower or the Gunslinger one?
This is just Dark Tower, but this is on. It's someone's bidding on it. It's got. I thought it was a buy it now. The buy it now is $78.97 for Dark Tower, but yeah, and then for Gunslinger, there's a buy it now for $83.32. So average between the two would be $80 a piece. But
okay,
I don't have the ability because the past several months have been so just completely full of tons of things that I've bought, and I'm struggling. And then we just bought the ACL tickets today, and last weekend we bought my wife a new MacBook, and so like, I'm like, I mean, we have the money to do this, but she doesn't like to. She likes to put more in savings than what we spend. So,
well, $160 can get you like a lot of really good current, like released omnibus and stuff like that too.
yeah, that too. Like that's if I could use that $160 to catch up on a million other things that I've been trying to read.
What are you guys going to come into a big windfall for your house?
No, see what wound up happening was, for anyone who didn't see this before, we had some people visit our house. Basically, a realtor was here, and she told us that they wanted to build a duplex next door to us. We already have a duplex on one side. On the other side, it's an abandoned lot. They wanted to build a duplex there. We found out later that they were asking us because they need our permission in order to build it. The duplex, we don't want a duplex on either side of us, you know, on both sides, because that would bring down our house, and I don't think people would want to live here if they wouldn't buy the house if there's two duplexes. So we offered them, we'd say, hey, did you want to buy our house? And they were like, maybe. So they asked later, they were like, you know, we would be interested in getting your land. How much were you thinking? And we pitched them like, I think about 150,000 more than what we paid for the house. Because I was like, I mean, you want the land, and you're not, if you don't buy my house, we're gonna say no. So what do you want to do? So we pitched it was like $420,000, and they said the realtor, apparently, I didn't talk to her, but apparently she laughed at the price, and I was like, okay, you can laugh all you want, but you're not building.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you say. Like, I win either way. So they said no, like, we don't want to do that. The maximum we would pay is what you paid for your house, which is bullshit, because we need more than that to make up for cost of moving and the fact that our house is more.
What's your incentive to sell if it's just what you paid?
Yeah, and then we have to move somewhere else, and the housing prices are already higher than they were 10 months ago.
Yeah.
So we're like, we can't do that. Like, you need to give us some sort of incentive to leave.
Yeah.
So no. So we came up with like these ideas, and we're like, okay, the lowest we could possibly go would be like $315,000. $315,000. Gave us that, we would be able to pocket about $30,000 after all the expenses. But we could only sell the house to someone who wants to build, because that way we don't have to fix any of the things that are wrong with our house, like the lack of fence and the fact that my yard doesn't have any landscaping and stuff like that. So my realtor has not gotten a absolutely final answer from them about that, but I'm pretty sure they're just going to say no. But it's funny because their realtor keeps backpedaling. Like, she was telling us, like, oh, you know, if we build here, it's going to look great, and the neighborhood's going to be so nice, and there's all these houses, and they're nice. And then whenever we told them $420,000, she was like, this neighborhood's not even that nice. And then we're like, really, bitch? Like, you're also trying to do stuff here. And it made me laugh. And then there was other things. She was backpedaling on other things and telling us all this crap about what we can and can't do. And like,
how do they think they could fit a duplex on that lot anyway?
I don't know. But she goes, the owner doesn't even have to build anything. They might just leave it an empty lot for like 5 years. And we were like, great.
Fine.
That's exactly what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I bought my my first house in the middle of the housing crisis, where houses were stupid cheap. And then, you know, I had 2 kids, and I sold that house and bought a bigger house and just got stupid profit out of it. So they're just playing games. Just who cares? Who cares, man?
Yeah, no, and it's like, I told my wife, it doesn't matter. We win either way. Like, either they buy our house and we get something better, or they don't buy our house and they don't get to build.
And your house turns into the up house. Just put some balloons on it. That's a legit house in Seattle. That's in the middle of like a mall. No, I swear to God, like, you can look it up. Somebody refused to sell their house to this mall building complex. So it's literally a house in the middle of a mall that has just balloons on it. People go by every day in Seattle and put balloons on this house.
What? So Google balloon house in Seattle?
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. It's not just some made up story from Pixar. It's a legit thing that happened.
Oh shit! Yeah, I can see it.
It's the craziest thing, because it's like in the middle of like
oh my gosh,
like a Navy SEAL in the middle of an HM and stuff like that. It's outrageous. Nobody lives there. It's an abandoned house, but the people who died and lived in that house put in like their contract or whatever that you cannot sell this house whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. How have I not heard of this before? It's between a Ross and a LA Fitness.
It's in the middle of a gym and Kmart's drug addicted cousin. I hate Ross. Oh, I hate Ross.
I can tell.
I go there and I can get my cologne for cheap, and that's about it. And I feel dirty.
We got a couple of
Hey, baby. Thank you.
a couple of new pitches that we can try to work on. I actually like some of these ideas, like the question of if Heath Ledger lived, what would you want to see in the third Nolan Batman?
Heroin addiction.
Overdosing on
that's
pain
fucked
meds.
up. Never mind.
I actually wouldn't change anything. Like maybe have a cameo appearance.
Who's King Vegeta?
That's from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
are gonna have to handle that one. I haven't seen Dragon Ball Z.
So King Vegeta was the king of the Saiyans, who were an alien warrior race. His son, Prince Vegeta, goes to Earth and becomes an antagonist to Goku at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, and eventually becomes one of the big protagonists of the series. But King Vegeta and his family and all that, like they were the ruling family of planet Vegeta, which was the planet of the Saiyans. But Frieza, one of the villains, destroyed the planet and killed everyone. So that happened.
Oh wow!
I would just have Trunks show up and just defeat everybody because he's the coolest character ever.
Somehow his sword is stronger than everything else.
Yes. Just chop.
Well, in Super, he got the in Super he got the Genki Dama sword, like the Spirit Bomb sword. So he was
but he
super
didn't
strong.
miss his Spirit Bomb like Goku did, the motherfucker. Charge that Spirit Bomb up for like 15 episodes and he misses.
It was still a Genki Dama sword. I don't know. I don't know how I would do that. Like I think just I feel like the coolest thing to do would go back and like give us a look at the history of Planet Vegeta and the Vegeta family, and kind of look at before all this shit was going down. Maybe even before King Vegeta. Maybe like there was his grandpa Vegeta and stuff, and about how the Vegeta family.
It's very much like Invincible, where they had a coalition of planets that would defeat other planets and make them a part of their like collective.
I would just, I would like to see a history of the Saiyan species and like how they came to be, their history, how they came upon planet Vegeta. Are there other planets ruled by Saiyans that are named after other Saiyans? Maybe they're still out there. Maybe there's a planet Kakarot.
Yeah. I would see Goku if he didn't hit his head, where he showed up on Earth as a baby and just had all of his powers and his will and desires to destroy the planet, and how that would look like when he took it over.
What if Goku landed on Earth, but he went to Soviet Russia? Goku Red Sun.
And then a cross show up.
From Romania.
All right. Well, I think it's about time that we wrap this. It's about 9:30 now in my time.
Do you want to do question and answer for 5 minutes? Or is that what we've been doing for the past hour?
I feel like that's basically what we've been doing, and we answered some non-pitch questions too. But I mean, that was a pretty fun little idea we did. I got to share a couple of little stories.
Silver Surfer Herald of Galactus original graphic novel.
I don't feel like I know Silver Surfer well enough or Galactus well enough to pitch an original graphic novel. Aside from just like Silver Surfer floating around in space and just having very introspective and existential thoughts.
I would like the idea of it being maybe like not the finite, like Silver Surfer's story, but he finds his home planet because Galactus kind of hid it from him. And that's kind of like the joke or the devil's kind of contract that Galactus did. He finds his home planet. He finds Shalabal again. But with all of Silver Surfer's kind of galactic cosmic awareness, he realizes like, this planet fucking sucks and you're all assholes and, you know, maybe you should be destroyed by Galactus. Like his idea of just like, here's where I lived, here's where I grew up, here's where, because he was basically kind of like, almost like a senator, almost kind of like in charge of the planet. But once he got this cosmic awareness, he realized there's a lot more involved in the world or the galaxy than just what this planet has to stand for. And what this planet has to stand for is, you know, maybe slavery or just some kind of fucked up scenario. And you realize like, you guys all suck, and Shalabah means nothing, and you're a piece of shit, and you're a piece of shit, and you're a piece of shit, and just have Galactus just wiped out the planet. He has a whole different perspective and awareness of everything.
He's just like, fucking go for it, boss. Eat it. Go.
Eat it.
Now.
Kind of realizing like, oh, my parents were right the whole time. Fuck. You know? You guys are all suck. And this is just a terrible idea of ideology that you had.
Well, I think that's a wrap.
All right.
So, thanks for everyone for playing along this week with the 99 Problems But a Pitch Ain't One episode. It was a lot of fun. I just thought about this,
son.
I thought about this on the fly today, so I'm glad it worked out pretty well. And I'm also really happy to have finally done a Gabe episode.
There's nothing that makes me more happy than finally meeting Riley like in person. You know, you should come out to Orlando, dude. You need to come out to Orlando with Jess.
When's the Orlando meetup?
Was it the 25th weekend? The weekend of the 25th
of May?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Memorial Day weekend?
It is Memorial Day weekend. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could swing it that soon. But it'll happen. I'll definitely do it. Because my family tends to go to Florida over the summer. They tend to go to Miami.
We should come to Vegas and just be like, you know what? We need to go see the Blue Man Group.
That's easier, though. Vegas is a lot easier for me to get to.
You don't even have to twist my arm to get me to go to Vegas.
I'm telling you, Jess, it's going to be strippers, comic book stores, and record stores if you come out.
That gives me 3 reasons to live right there. In that order, I'm happy.
I'm kind of disappointed in myself because not until after you left did I notice there's a record store somewhat close to my house.
Oh, really? I got my fill pretty much when I went to Waterloo and then went next door to have my chicken and waffles. That was a great way to start out my Austin trip.
I've never had chicken and waffles, and there's like a handful of places out here.
Those chicken and waffles were amazing.
It's a delicacy.
Yeah. Where is the record store in relation to that street we kept driving up and down? Is it on it?
No, it's the record store that I found is like on the other side of the freeway that's like 5 minutes from my house.
Oh.
Went over there I don't know. It's like 5 minutes away, going a little bit up north, like towards my work.
Oh,
But
okay. I don't know.
I noticed it because I was driving around for work the other day, and I went past it, and I forgot what it was called, but it like had, it just said, you know, record store on the outside, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I pretty much shot my wad, so to speak, at Waterloo.
Oh.
They had to ship me a box home.
You bought like 20
Oh wow.
vinyl out there too, right? Or something.
Yeah, I
else?
bought like 20 pieces of vinyl out at Waterloo. Yeah, they did. That's where Beto and I met up. And he got that Hannibal record that I wanted.
I'm all about
Yeah.
that Alien record when that comes out. That thing.
Yeah, that thing looks boss. That is it 4 LPs or 3?
It's 4. And
4,
each
yeah.
has, like, a different color design and everything else like that.
Yeah, that's extensive. That's going to be great. I forget who did we get that from Mondo?
That's from Mondo.
Yeah.
I've been ordering a bunch of like pre-orders. Like I have the Bob's Burger like 4 LP like collector set from there coming.
Oh yeah, that's good. Looks cool too.
I think Riley, you need to go out and get yourself a cheap record player and join in on all the fun.
I have one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one. It was my wife's, and it broke, and then I fixed it for her. Because for some reason I'm good at fixing random electronic items.
Yeah, you swapped out that hard drive all by your lonesome, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I fixed my computer. I gave myself an entirely new body for my computer, so that it's not a drunkenly, accidentally stepped on my computer crack on the screen anymore.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so that was awesome. Yeah, I fixed her record player. I fixed like my old Nintendo. I fixed all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Did you fix your own Nintendo by blowing into it?
On the cartridges?
I did an extreme form of blowing into it. I opened everything up and I blew out all of the dust, and then I wiped it down with alcohol. And then I think I unplugged all of the connectors and wiped all of that down with alcohol, and then I put everything back in, so it was like brand new.
Wow.
No, that sounds familiar. That's how it was when I got my first like 95, or I'm sorry, not 85. When I first got my NES, that was, you had to just restart from the beginning every single time you put in a new game. Because I'm that old.
All right, guys. Well, I got to get going before my wife gets pissed that we ran too late.
Wait. I'm sorry. I know your wife is going to get pissed, but we got one that says JESS Bragg kills the Marvel Universe. How does that? That's amazing. That's a great idea.
I just saw that. So how do I do that?
JESS Bragg, our mild-mannered anti-hero.
The Silver Fox.
Yeah, his alias. The thing is, he has 2 aliases. There's the hero, the Omnidog, who is the all-seeing, canine, who basically, you know, he helps everyone and anyone. But then his alter, you know, personality is the Silver Fox. You know, evil guy who, when he gets drunk, he gets drinks thrown in his face and slapped by women.
You remember that story? That's awesome.
It's like a battle between. It's like having Warlock and the Magus fighting against each other. You know, 2 personalities, 2 sides of one coin. And the dichotomy here just creates this rupture in the universe, and I don't know, man.
Oh, I split into 2, and I'm battling myself, my good self and my bad self. Get off on my bad self.
Like whenever the void is removed from the Sentry, and they like fight each other, and your fight with yourself to cracking the universe, the Marvel universe as we know it, which is not the universe that you live in, but for some reason it does crack open the Marvel universe.
616.
Yeah, the Earth 616, and you are the Beyonder.
I like
You
the
destroy
idea. My idea for Jess is that knowing Jess and like the weird, like evil Jess stories that we heard is Jess is that guy who is the ladies' man of all time. And with that being said, he's able to steal anybody's lady from them. So he's able to steal away not only MJ from Parker, but Aunt May. And that puts Parker in like this depressed mode where he just gives up being Spider-Man.
Silver Fox defeats Spider-Man that way.
Silver Fox defeats Cyclops and is able to take away Jean Grey and Emma.
Ooh, now we're talking.
He's able to take away every superhero's like moment away from them. Because honestly, like all these stories, like Marvel superheroes, is all about like their love and their affection, their loss of women. Like he takes, Gwen Stacy and everything like that. And that just buckles the entire Marvel universe. Because all the superheroes kind of just give up. Like he gets not only magic away from Colossus, but also Kitty Pryde.
Oh, I'm a big fan of those two.
Yeah, you realize
where this is headed.
Women just like honestly, everything in these comic book universes is kind of on like the linchpin of women's relationship with men.
That's how I destroy the Marvel universe.
Right. And then the Cross show up and kill everybody.
And have their way with all my women.
Yes. No. You got your women saved like a harem, and it's just the Cross showing up and just.
Oh, okay. I'm safe, and the women are safe. They just destroy the Marvel universe.
Right. It's all just like Peter Parker. You just get stabbed in the back, and they all just have sex with the wound in the back, and just outrageous stuff like that.
Hey, you've sold me. This sounds great. We need to get somebody to illustrate this.
Yeah, because of Jess, Silver Surfer loses Shalaba. Like it's all just like you think about it, all these like weird women relationships that really just cause superheroes to become superheroes, and you take that woman dynamic away, and they're nobody, and Jess is just the king of the universe.
I think that's the perfect way to end the show tonight. Yes, killed the Marvel universe.
I love it.
That's it for us tonight. If Jess, where can they find y'all?
I am on Riley Moore's Facebook page group, the Omnibus Collectors Swap, the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community. Community. We're a community, not just a group. That's where you can find me.
And Gabe?
You can also find me on Riley's page, Riley's group, where I will go on there and be the person that likes the Inhumans photo. And just rather be like, you know what, I'll wait to see this in action. Because sure, you can't see Medusa's hair that well. But let me wait to the first footage of her hair going into action. And you can also find me on Instagram as Gabe Infinity Watch, and here on YouTube as Gabe Infinity Watch as well. And I don't know if I'm blowing my load or like revealing too much, but we're going to start our own network pretty soon of YouTube channels, all of us together. You heard it?
Yeah, we're trying to set that up. So, spoiler alert: Jess might be doing some solo gigs.
Perhaps. That's a perhaps. And Riley might start doing
3 subscribers, but we all know that he's going to get more than all of us put together.
And it'll get Riley to make more videos, which was what got me into this whole collection bit anyway.
Again, I think we should just do a shared channel and Riley, who just, you know, for his own reasons and concerns, doesn't want to do videos, but he could just do short introduction videos for all of us. You do 30 seconds, and that's it.
I want to do what we talked about, where we do videos where we just give reviews on books we've never read.
I love that idea.
Where you
I
just
already
talk
hate the
shit.
next Marvel event after Empire or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I already hate.
It'd be like, you know, it'd be like, let's see, what do I have sitting over here?
This is a great idea.
Exo Manowar. This is volume 4. I haven't even read volume 1, but I'm pretty sure I hate this book. This guy looks like a really shitty Iron Man. I'm pretty sure that he is just a really shitty Iron Man. He looks like he comes from the future and definitely not from the past. And this sword is probably like his Bankai. Now, the binding doesn't matter because you're not going to even open this book. The paper quality doesn't matter because you're never going to look at the paper. And the artwork doesn't matter because no one fucking likes it.
I heard it's shit because they're rebooting it already.
I give this book a 0 out of 0. And the universe will collapse now.
Riley destroys the universe.
And that's it. That's my new channel. Just shitty reviews. Uninformed reviews.
Right.
And you can find those videos on my channel right here on YouTube.
Nice. I can't wait.
Aquaman just started filming, and I hate it already.
I hate everything.
I hate everything and everyone.
All right, hate mongers. I'm glad that I'm not the only one full of hate out there.
Hate. Like Dave Chappelle.
So we'll see you guys next week, more than likely over on Louise's channel, for some topic, probably talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. But until then, everyone stay cool, read more comics, and don't judge things before you see them.
Yeah. Peace and love. Peace and love.
This is all shit. I hate it already.
Except for the hate.
All right, good night, everyone.